Before we even get started, I've got to tell you about Launch Your Homeschool. The doors for my online homeschooling course for Muslim parents are now open, and we only open this twice a year. Until Friday, the 5th of August, you can join us. I know that homeschooling your kids is stressful, it's confusing, and sometimes it feels like too much. Choosing the books, which curriculum to use, how to create a routine that works, and how to fit in all the other stuff you have to do, like the cooking and the cleaning, maybe studying, maybe you're working. And then what happens when something goes wrong? If something doesn't work out the way you hoped it would? Who can you turn to for help and support? Well, that is why I created Launch Your Homeschool. I will take you by the hand and show you how you can pick out the best resources for your child, how you can craft a curriculum for your unique child, how to plan out their education, an education that works for your family's situation and aligns with your values, and how you can do all the things that you need to do without losing your mind. You will learn how to facilitate learning and learn some really valuable methods of teaching in your home that many homeschoolers make use of. You will learn how to give your child a truly incredible education, an education where they thrive emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. This course is not just for new homeschoolers. We've had many experienced homeschoolers come through the course and say things like, "Finally, it all makes sense now. I can see where we were going wrong." These seasoned homeschoolers suddenly realize why they were feeling so stressed and tired at the end of the day, and they're able to make the changes they need to keep homeschooling their children year after year, when maybe they were thinking of quitting. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, if you've been following me online for a while, and you've benefited from my work, if you resonate with the way I teach, then join me inside Launch Your Homeschool. We have some absolutely incredible bonuses this year, and you get the opportunity to join our community and connect with other mothers who are like you, who have the same vision for their family and hope for the same kind of things for their children. I would love for you to join us. I would love for you to be a part of Launch Your Homeschool. Doors close Friday, the 5th of August at 9 p.m. UK time. Don't miss it. Go to launchyourhomeschool.com and join today.
This is Raising Mums, the podcast that raises up Muslim mums like you so that you can raise your children well. And here's your host, Dr. Gemma.
Oh my goodness, when it comes to homeschool planning, it can be completely overwhelming. Trying to piece together all the different things that people are doing. Maybe you've bought a planner in the past and it didn't work for your family. Maybe you tried to copy somebody's method off of YouTube and it didn't work out. Today, I want to make things really easy for you. I want to show you the easiest way to approach planning your homeschool year. What you're about to hear is a snippet from Start Your Homeschool Strong, which was a 5-day bootcamp that I ran last month to help homeschoolers start their homeschooling year off in the best of ways. So what I'm going to share now is a clip from day 2. So before we jump into that lesson, I want you to think about 2 jars. And those jars are your homeschooling day. And into those homeschooling jars, you can put the subjects you will do. The things that are most important to you are large. They're the large stones that you can fit in. And the things that are less of a priority are smaller in size. They're the pebbles or the sand. The mistake that I see so many homeschoolers make is that they put the pebbles in first. So imagine that jar and you start putting in the pebbles and the sand. When the time comes to put the things that are really important in, those larger rocks, there's no space left. Instead, when you start looking at how to plan your homeschool day, start with the larger rocks, start with the larger stones, put those into your jar, and then you fill around it with the sand and the pebbles. Hold that image in your mind as we go into this lesson. Welcome to Start Your Homeschool Strong Day 2. I am so glad that you're back. So in today's session, we're going to be talking about what subjects you need to teach to start your homeschool strong. When you begin your homeschooling year, I would not recommend what I see so many people doing. I would not recommend that you start all the subjects on day 1. I wouldn't even recommend that you do all the subjects on day 10. Instead, what I want you to do so that you can start your homeschool strong is to begin with what I call your core 3. I'm going to explain in a minute what I mean by your core 3 and why I really don't want you to start with everything from the very beginning. So imagine for a minute that you have some guests coming over for a meal. They're important guests. Maybe they're your in-laws, someone important in your community, someone who you really want to give a good meal to, someone who you want to make happy. So you create in your mind this menu of all the wonderful dishes that you could serve. Maybe you're going to think about how you present that food, how you're going to make the house look nice and inviting. And then you start doing the work that's necessary for that feast that you're creating. You start making the bitings, the things they're going to eat when they first come and sit down. You start to prepare 2 or 3 desserts. And then you realize when you look at your dishes that some of them are chipped. So you spend an hour online shopping for new dishes. Then you realize that the bathroom needs a clean. So you clean that up, make sure there's a fresh towel, maybe you even light a candle. And before you know it, it's almost time for them to arrive. And you have to rush. You have to rush what's left, rush the cooking of the main meal. And inevitably, that main dish doesn't turn out the way you had hoped it would turn out. Maybe it's not even properly cooked. In trying to create this incredible experience for your guests, they arrive and there is nothing of substance for them to eat. The core of that meal has been neglected, and you can light all the candles you want, but if your guests go home hungry, well, that's a problem. But how many of us do that in our homeschooling? We put so much time and energy into things that maybe are not as important and potentially compromise the areas that really are. And maybe this has shown up already in your children's education. Maybe you are struggling with those core subjects. Maybe you feel uninspired as a homeschooler. Maybe you're easily distracted, unmotivated. Maybe your homeschooling experience right now is not aligning with what's really important to you. And this could be why, because you're focusing on the candles and the hors d'oeuvres instead of the main course. So to start your homeschool strong this year, I want you to identify the core subjects, the areas of learning that are a priority for your child. These are the subjects that you are going to make sure get done without fail on a regular basis in your home. All the other things, all the other subjects and amazing things that you have planned, they'll come later. But right now, to start strong, you start with your core 3. So what are your core 3? This will vary. For every mother who is watching this, it will be different. It will vary according to the age of your child, the educational philosophy or method that you follow. It will very much depend on what you wrote down yesterday on day 1, your destination. So a way for you to work out what your core 3 areas of learning are for your child will be to do this. First of all, I want you to brainstorm all the possibilities, all the amazing things you'd love to do with your child, and give yourself a good chunk of time for this, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe more. Brainstorm everything. And then you're going to look through that list. You're going to choose which ones you're going to cross out, which ones just don't align with your values, maybe things that are maybe a little bit too advanced for your child right now, or maybe it's for younger kids. Cross the things out that are just not appropriate. Then go through your list and referring back to your vision for your homeschool, referring back to where you want your homeschool to go, circle 3. Circle the 3 main priorities this year that align with that vision. And then also look through that list and underline the ones that you value, that you would love for your child to do, but they're not the core 3, because you'll be referring back to them later on when you want to add in more subjects. So as you begin your homeschooling year, those 3 subjects that you begin with, and again, you're only beginning with these 3, the other subjects will come in, but those core 3, that's your main dish, that's your main meal. So you make sure that those 3 are in place. You make sure that you have established those before you add in any other courses. You make sure that you feel comfortable teaching or facilitating the learning of those 3 areas before you ever begin to add in anything else. And I want you to leave it at least a few weeks before you add in another dish and add in another subject. You make that core strong before you add in all the other wonderful subjects that your child can feast on. So before we carry on with the rest of this lesson, I'd like to pause for a quick break and a message from Noor, who is one of the mums inside Launch Your Homeschool.
Salam, I'm Noor. I'm a mum of 1 from the UK. We should have started already, but as Em had some developmental delays, we had been waiting until she was ready. And me being the totally disorganised parent that I am, meant I just ignored everything about getting ready for homeschooling Em. As a result, I literally had no idea where to start, what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and so on. But alhamdulillah, I saw that Gemma had a course on homeschooling and I thought I would give it a go. And honestly, thank God for Gemma's course. The course is great for so many reasons. Firstly, because whilst the course would be absolutely amazing for anyone from any religious background, it spoke to me as a Muslim mom. The framework is that of making what you do a form of worship, so that you are not wasting your time and good intentions without being preachy or judgmental. Gemma subscribes to a Charlotte Mason philosophy of education. However, I think this course would be beneficial for anyone with, or like me, without an education philosophy or style they like to follow. Personally, I have loved learning and attempting to slowly integrate the Charlotte Mason philosophy into our homeschool, just because it feels so natural, beautiful, and enriching. The course is made up of short modules that you can either sit down and take notes to or listen to whilst washing up, which is perfect for any busy mum or dad. I cannot thank Gemma enough for what she has done and how she has dramatically empowered me personally as an enthusiastic but very shambolic homeschooling mum. Thank you, Gemma. May Allah reward you for your good efforts and intentions.
Now, your core 3 will inevitably be different from other people's. And a quick word of advice, many of you are going to put down reading, writing, and maths straight away. And I want you to consider why. Why have you put down reading, writing, and maths? Is it truly because those subjects align with your deepest desire for your child? Or could it be because your school experience prioritized those things that you have by default just chosen those as well? Think about it. You have so many options, and what a blessing that is. So many things that you can give your child as a home educator. Don't confine yourself to the school model. You are not a teacher in a classroom. You are a mother in a home, and make the most of it. So think about it. And if you are struggling with your child's core 3, I'd like you to try this exercise to get those mental juices flowing and expand the possibilities. Instead of thinking about reading, writing, and maths, try this. Try choosing one subject for your child's mind, one subject for your child's heart, and one subject for your child's hands. So your heart, that could be anything that moves him or her emotionally, spiritually. So that could be reading aloud good literature. That could be some kind of religious education. That could even be spending time in nature. You get to choose. For his mind, for his head, this is, again, you're thinking about something that satisfies him intellectually. So this could be maths. This may well be language arts and reading and writing. It could be logic. It could be critical thinking. And for his hands, that could be handwriting, but it also could be art or crafts or sports or nature. I want to invite you to break away from the confines of what school tells you an education looks like. I want to invite you to look beyond that and craft an education for your child based upon the values of your family and what you know to be best for your child. If it helps, when you are brainstorming ideas, by all means, look online at the curriculum that are there. Look at the national curriculum. See what other homeschoolers are doing on YouTube if you want, if that helps for that initial brainstorming phase. And if you are already in Launch Your Homeschool, you know that we have an entire module about homeschool planning. And I invite you still to create these core 3, because that's going to help you to get from this point to creating the 6-week plan that you need to start your homeschooling off. So still do this. And then once you have your core 3, then you can go to that planning module and plan out the coming academic year. Now, ultimately, again, as I've said, these are your core 3. They're not mine. You have to make that decision. And there is no such thing as a wrong decision here, my friends, because you can always change your core 3 if it's not working. Once you try it and you realize, you know what, actually, that is more important to us than what I've put down here, you can change it. You can add on other subjects as well later on. Remember, this is just what you're going to be doing at the very beginning, and it's what you're going to be prioritizing for the coming homeschooling year. Don't get stuck here. Don't allow your brain to say, I don't know, I'm confused. Just tell yourself there's no such thing as a wrong decision and move on. Make that decision. In fact, decide today. Just do this exercise today after you've watched this video, and then head over to the private Facebook community and share it with the other mothers there. See what they've put down as their core 3 subjects. Read each other's, cheer each other on, share your ideas, and make sure you come back for tomorrow's lesson, because tomorrow we're going to be talking about how to teach your children. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode and enjoyed getting a feel for the way that I teach. If that you've enjoyed this, if you took something from this episode and you want more and you'd like to dive deeper into the methods and the way I approach home education, join us inside Launch Your Homeschool. The doors are open until Friday the 5th of August at 9 p.m. UK time. Let me help you to create an incredible education for your children at home. Visit launchyourhomeschool.com. Well, thank you so much for joining me here today. Have a beautiful week. Assalamu alaikum.